Ooh, what's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that would spear me in a hallway while I was talking to someone else for sure, JC.
Oh, I'd definitely do that. That would be an absolute blast to do.
Yes,
I might just do that next time I see you.
that'd be wonderful. We should get it on film.
Or I might just head kick you when you try to after you lose me the match and it's not my fault, even though I got pinned.
That's true. It's very
Yeah.
true. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got AEW Double or Nothing
Ugh.
this weekend. Eesh. We've got also King and Queen on of the Ring Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So there's a lot to talk about. We've got Raw, SmackDown. We're not going to talk about Dynamite because it's unfolding in front of us as we speak. So we're just going to get to whatever we can as long as we can. And JC, where do we always start?
We start in the Shine Nestlemania. And you know what? I'm going to start with the King of the Ring stuff and the Queen of the Ring stuff because we got some upsets this week. We got some surprises, but we also got some hashtag JC knows there on SmackDown when you said there was no chance Randy Orton and Tama Tonga were going to win. Well, Nestlemania, I ask you, who won the matches on SmackDown?
Randy Orton and Tama Tonga.
Oh, that's sweet. But what I really loved, I also loved on Raw, Lyra Valkyria with the huge upset that not many of us saw coming. So look at, man, all these matches are given tons of time, especially on Raw. They're getting that extra treatment. And like they're allowing these performers to go out there, just like the ones we talked about last week, and show what they can do and really make this feel like a solid wrestling tournament. Obviously, we had Gunther and mid-event Jey Uso in the main event. And since it was a big match for Jey Uso, guess what? He lost.
So it was weird to me because all I kept thinking about was, they kept fucking pumping his tires. And again, his entrance is something to behold. You have to see the fucking promo to the walk to him going out and the lights and the whole thing. But I will still stand under the tree of, and then the bell rings. So it was a great match because Gunther was in it, in my opinion. And Gunther did most of the work. So it is what it is. I was kind of bummed out that Gunther won, but he can't lose this close to losing already. So it makes perfect sense at that point. Here's the thing. It's not going to happen now, but there was a part of me that was writing a hope before Monday that made me feel like I really wanted Jay versus Tama in the final to see that first bloodline interaction there. But
yeah, I think they're just going to keep probably with teasers for now. But I mean, I believe JC told you before that this felt like a Gunther Randy Orton final, and Nestlemania, barring another upset on Friday and a heel matchup, it's going to be Gunther versus Randy Orton. So it's going to,
he's going to Barry Horowitz it. He has no idea who Barry Horowitz is, but that's okay.
I know who Barry Horowitz is.
No, you don't.
He's a you.
He's a you?
Yeah.
You have no idea who Barry Horowitz is. He needs to change his name to Main Event Entrance Jey Uso. I agree with Danny. Like I said, it's difficult to enjoy Jey Uso matches, but again, sometimes you don't need it. It's like LA Knight.
You're making him sound like he's a bad wrestler in the ring.
He's not.
He's just not a main event level talent, but he's a fine wrestler. And just it's the problem is, and this kind of happened with Bobby Roode too. And like he had such an amazing entrance, but it was just like then you get to it, it's like he's a solid wrestler, but it's just like it doesn't always fit. But you know what? Good for Jay. He's making the most of it. And I'm curious to see what he does next. Because now that King of the Ring's over, he just lost the challenge for the World Heavyweight title. Like, I don't know if they're going to have him go after Sammy right away. So I am curious to see what's next for mid-event Jey Uso.
Mid-event Jey Uso. Is there anything else about King or Queens that you want to break down here? Because there's a lot to talk about, but we're almost in the finals here.
Because we have obviously we can wrap it up on SmackDown like we already talked about. We expect Orton Gunther at this point, and since Lyra won, it feels like Nia Jax will probably beat Bianca in some form or fashion to set up Lyra versus Nia. But I don't know. I could also see a swerve here because I could see them wanting Bianca as that big star over there. I could see a Lyra Bianca match too, and this be where they do the weird babyface. I'm curious what you think.
I think because they kind of drew it up last week on Friday where she has a bad wheel now, that'll be her out for losing. And I think, I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times. God knows the Nestle curse
in this whole tournament.
Yeah. So I might as well just bet against myself and say Bianca Belair wins the whole thing, but I don't think she needs it because she's a tag team champion. What else can you do with it? Right. I feel like Lyra or Nia could really do something with it, in my opinion. And I mean, Queen Nia would be hysterical to me. It seems like Lyra, they have to give it to her though, because that is a stamp of approval right out of the gate. I mean, they're giving her the Becky rub beyond rubs. If you watched on Monday with the amount of time Becky was psyching her up before and after, and just
She beat Becky, man. Becky's got mad respect for Lyra.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, don't fight against the Irish as she walked away or whatever she said. It's just whatever. It's just it's so bad that I feel like the more time she through osmosis, the more time she spends with Becky, inevitably she'll do a terrible leg drop. That's just what I'm thinking.
I mean, Lyra's so fucking smooth in the ring. I ain't worried about that. She has wins for a reason because she fucking soars, baby.
So anyway, I hope Lyra wins, but Nia would be fun too. I think.
It would be an interesting matchup to see how Lyra handles that type of matchup, because I don't know if I've seen Lyra in that type of matchup, because NXT did. I mean, like they didn't have the woman like Nia or anything. So that would be an interesting matchup for sure. But I don't know. I just have a weird feeling that this could be like the Bianca Lyra babyface thing. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. So we talked about men's. We talked about women's. Is there anything else that was super duper positive for you in the shine?
Look, I am still really digging this Carlito and Judgment Day stuff. Carlito makes me laugh every time he's on my TV. His facial expressions, I could just watch him. Like, if you gave me a Carlito cam for 3 hours on Raw, I would just be fixated on it. The dude, everything he does, he's just such a fucking weirdo. And I love him for it. It's just like all his interactions with Priest are so good. And just like, so we're cool. It's just, yeah. I love Carlito. I think it's great. I need him to continue this stuff with Judgment Day. And look at they found a way to, there's really slow play in this Priest thing, but obviously we're starting to see more and more dissension. And I mean, the fact that we're getting Braun versus JD next week, I just cannot fucking wait, because JD is going to sell his soul for Braun, and it is just, that match is going to be an absolute blast. So I'm enjoying this stuff. Like, Raw has been an enjoyable show. Like, despite some of we thinking there might be some top heavy issues, like I think overall there's still a lot of good stuff going on there.
I laughed so hard when he goes, tough break about those Knicks, huh? And I just started dying. I was just like, it was irrelevant to everything that was going on. And it was just like, we're cool, right? We're like, again, making small things matter is just, it's funny. And like, I don't really care about anything LWO related, but for some reason, Carlito was making me care about these like other BCD storylines. And I think it's great. I actually really love the whole thing where like Jackie was interviewing, I think it was Gable and company. And then the backstage thing happened where she ran around, and I like the chaotic feel of it because it makes me feel like I'm reminded I'm watching live television sometimes. And I love that little aspect of the cookie crumbs you see in the background with Liv and, coming out of the same car as Finn, and like just little things like that in the backstage stuff. I eat that shit up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love that shit. So the matches are great too. I mean, there's a lot of amazing wrestling happening right now. But man, are these stories just cooking on all cylinders? Even the CD storylines are doing pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been noticeable. It's one of those things like just, you always expect a lull after WrestleMania, but I think especially with this King and Queen of the Reign, it's kind of like you have that like new fresh feeling, and they've done a good job of, like you said, with a lot of these like mid-tier storylines. It's just, and they're interweaving, like, because we just talked about Carlito and Judgment Day, but you're mentioning Liv as well, because I'm digging everything she's doing right now. It's just like I feel like they're really cooking on Raw, especially.
I mean, she punched way better than Becky too. I think someone like literally the whole internet said the same thing before I could even type it. I'm like, there's a bunch of Nestles out there, because when Gunther was in the empty arena, I was like, I'm gonna write an AEW response. Didn't get to it quickly. 50 fucking people wrote it. Same thing with Liv, the fucking punch, and I saw 50 people write it, and I go, well, there's already enough Nestles in the world that are worse than I am.
Scary fucking thought,
But anyway, I would like to give somebody a special shout out, in my opinion. Maybe not just one person, but the whole segment and continuing. We did talk about it briefly for a second there. I think Gable and Otis and Tozawa, Maxine, I think all of that, to me, again, we know that the big storylines are always going to get the most attention, but this was a week for me where I was like, I could really get into this. And you always forget how good that Otis is.
Oh, he's so over too.
He's so good. And that's like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, okay, I love that Gable came out and had the robe that looked differently. And then he dressed everybody down. That was wonderful. I love that. And he said, I'm too selfless. I need to be, and I'm too nice. I need to be into the match. I need to be into what I'm doing. And then he ran them all down. And I love that it was a multi-segment match. I love that Tozawa and Maxine couldn't bring themselves to do it. He kicks them out. And then there's that internal monologue that that I'm sure that Otis is having, like, oh shit, what do I do? And you visibly see it, and then he finally does it, and then he has, and then Gable wins. They get the "You suck" Kurt Angle chance, and it's like,
Oh, that was great. I was
they're
thinking
on
that.
to something there.
Yeah.
But man, it is so fun to see what happens there. And then, you get the backstage segment where it was like, way to go, Otis, my number 1 star pupil. He's like, I apologize to Sami Zayn. He goes, you're thinking now, you're trying to get him off his thing. Like, I love that. And it's like, by any means necessary, I'm going to win. He probably isn't going to win on Saturday, but it's going to continue what we're doing here, because in that segment before, he's talking to the Creeds. Remember what I talked about? We'll discuss later. It's like, oh, you're planting seeds there. I love that stuff. It's throwaway for some people that aren't paying attention, but God, is it fun.
I mean, they need to call themselves Team Gable. I need it, because it's so perfect. But that moment when Otis turns, whether it's Saturday or Monday, it's coming soon. That is going to be a huge moment. That place is going to go bananas, because you can already feel it building. Like, the crowd wants it so bad. And Otis is just someone, like, he starts gyrating and the place goes nuts. So that's a moment that we think we really have to look forward to. And I think it's coming. It could come in the next however many days, but Saturday or Monday. Like, I feel like it's right there. Like, I think this is ready to explode. So.
Yeah, and then Guthrie makes a comment over here that is definitely heat worthy. So I don't know if we're going to talk about it right now, Guthrie.
Oh, come on! You don't like Karrion and Kofi? Come on!
Put on your detective hat and stop hating.
He's right, Nestlemania. Where is the detective hat? Karrion Kross is the perfect type of character for Detective Nestle.
I will say this much: there is a thread on Twitter about like how Karrion Kross has like changed all these people, which I do believe is part of his character. But he hasn't had a definitive win, in my opinion. So it's hard for me to be like, ooh, now he's interacting with this person. He's going to alter their universe or alter time and whatever.
Do you know the list? Because I know it's like AJ kind of had his change.
They started with the Bloodline. If you remember, he started with the Bloodline. Then it was McIntyre. Then Shinsuke Nakamura. And then it's like
AJ was
part of it. It's just like, it is a, once you face him, something changes in you. And I appreciate that aspect of Karrion Kross. But it's just every time, like, literally, it was on God forbid, I can't believe this is a real thing, but like, I don't even know what show he's on. Is it Monday? Is it Monday then? Okay. So,
oh my goodness.
So he does this whole thing. I love Danny. Karrion Kross changes me. All right. I wake and then I see Kross and I fall asleep right with my friend Daniel. I agree with you. But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with it. Now that I forget it. But anyway, he's on Monday nights, and I forgot he was on Monday nights. And I kept thinking, oh, no. He looks exactly like Lemmy from Motorhead. And I'm just thinking to myself, he is sucking up to Triple H so much to get TV time. It is unfucking real to me. But
I think he's like, this is a character Triple H is already like. Like, this is like, I feel like the vision he had with like Malachi Black. This is like that Bray Wyatt type. Like, that's what he's doing. And Karrion Kross is the one he's using it for.
I will say this much.
You're just a hater. You just hate hair.
No. Here's the thing. Here we go. Karrion Kross talking the Shine. Achievement unlocked.
Well, AOP's in Scarlet out with Karrion Kross, so yeah. I'll put him in the Shine every week just because of those three.
Paul Ellering will never be in the Shine.
Poor guy.
He's
brutal, man. It's just like, it's one of those, like, I just watching him, like, man, you really you're such a bygone era, and it's a shame because obviously he's a legend, but it's just like.
Here's the thing. Oof. Here's a hot take. He's not a legend. He got fucking he latched onto the coattails of Legion of Doom. He is irrelevant across the board. There you go. That's my hot take. I'm telling you right now. No, it has nothing to do with AOP. As I've never needed Paul Ellering in my life from the 80s till now. He is irrelevant to every aspect of wrestling, in my opinion. There you go.
I'm gonna talk to Dom about that because
Dom's gonna hate me for that. And I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna get a voice message that's 6 minutes long that he's gonna say to me about how fucking stupid I am. I will play it for you next week. I can guarantee it. And I love Dom, but it is ridiculous. Road Warriors, wherever it is, Road Warriors were fine on their own. Thank you, Dominic. Exactly. They did not need Paul Ellering, and neither does AOP.
Yes, but a lot of people who have managers don't necessarily need a manager. It's just an extra enhancement for them.
But he never enhanced Road Warriors LOD. He did not enhance AOP. AOP is fine on their own. Without them, it is.
Hold on. I'm going to snip that. AOP is fine on their own. I'm going to put that in the bank.
Yep.
Nestle admitted that AOP is good.
This is what happens when I don't eat dinner. I make nonsense. It's ridiculous. I'm out of my fucking mind right now. I've had to work all day and I had 2 seconds to say hi to my wife and now I'm doing this podcast. So buckle in, buckos. It's going to be a wild, dirty ride. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about, Shineworthy, before we get all crazy?
No, I'm good. We got a lot of predictions. We can move on to the Heat.
All right. Can we just, this get him off my TV, get him off my TV, get him off my TV. Now, this is a real Nestle thing. This is Nestle Island for sure. But I got really fucking angry and almost threw my iPad out the fucking window the minute they started on SmackDown to acknowledge the QR codes. And I was thinking to myself, what a fucking stupid fucking thing that they did. They didn't acknowledge it the first time around. And then Corey Graves was like, ooh, the QR codes last time were a big deal. I wonder what's cooking this time. I was just like, the whole point of the QR code for me and everything else is to go follow on different social media platforms and other things like the WhatsApp app and the Twitch and all these other things that they're doing, which is magically done. I love it. But I just don't like that they're calling upon it in the actual programming, because to me, it's not necessary. And I think you're making it worse than it is. And I don't like it at all. So it is something that made me very, very angry. I don't understand it. I don't have to understand it. I just don't fucking like it. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, look, I
don't acknowledge it.
No, I kind of agree with that. I feel weird. I don't love saying this, but I just don't give a fuck really about this right now until I see what it is. It's just one of those things. Like, I'm not ever going to click on those QR codes. I'll let some virgin on the internet tell me what's in it, or you can fall in that category, but just
I'm
like,
I don't virgin, technically, but yeah,
you get the point. A lot of people I call virgins aren't virgins. It's a figure of speech. That's
basement
also not
colors.
the
basement colors.
I don't know. The Uncle Howdy character, I'm just not interested. And the reason why I say I don't like saying it is because I think it's going to be awesome that they're going to be able to honor Bray Wyatt in some way with this faction and do something, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm just not that ecstatic for it. So these things, I literally don't bother me. So when I saw them acknowledge it, the only thing I thought about was like, Nestle's not going to like that. But besides that, it's just like, I don't really care.
I agree with Danny though. Honestly. I agree with Danny. The QR code stuff is dragging. And I think here's what I'm willing to bet is that we're all going to give it the first glance and be like, all right, let's see what happens. And like, you get a certain honeymoon period of goodwill where everybody's into it and giving it a chance and getting exciting. And then once that wears off, you're then stuck with the fucking underwhelming feeling of what the fuck is this? And I think that's where we're headed. Now, granted, I can be pleasantly surprised, but I would bet my bottom dollar that there is no way that this faction is going to get me as excited as The Fiend did.
Or I think that it's unfair to even think that that'll happen. Yeah. But that's why it's just like, for me to care about this, like when it eventually does debut, like it needs to have its own like different spin. Like, it needs to be something unique to itself as well. Like you can do stuff to honor it, but it's just like, I need something different out of it, because this stuff's always hard for me to grasp anyways. And that's why I thought Bray was so special, because this is stuff on like a wrestling show I normally wouldn't care about, but he made me care. Like he had me invested because he was so good. So it's going to be a challenge, at least like for me as a viewer, to give a shit about this. But if you put the right people in there, I might be interested. So we'll see.
So here's the thing. You just said something in that I want to reverse into a question. You said the right people. I don't even think the right people can make this a thing, because the right person was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It needs to be like you can. I think there's a line where you can honor and like represent kind of what he was, but you need to bring something unique that is your own, unique to your character, whatever it's going to be, to the table. And I think if you have like Alexa Bliss or like some more veteran members that are really good at creating characters mixed in there, they can put their own flavor on it, like she kind of did, and it could feel special in certain ways. But if it's just like straight Bray stuff, you're 100% right, because look at like Bo Dallas is amazing. I loved him in NXT, Touch My Butt, all that shit was great. But like as this Uncle Howdy character, it's just like, you're already asking me with that fucking mask and everything else to buy in. So it needs to me, it has to have something extra and unique to itself. If not, it's going to be hard for me to give a shit.
And honestly, to me, if Bray Wyatt's whole inner web of people that he's been touched, over the years, if Braun Strowman isn't a part of it, I think that's
I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to be. I think that's why they brought back like a Rowan who's re-signed to like have him be that.
But my thing is I think Braun Strowman is the key to this for working in terms of taking it to a point where it's, ooh, spooky. That's great. But you still
Is
need
that who they go after? Maybe is that their first target?
maybe. But my question to you is, if it's a Dexter Loomis, if it's a Nikki Cross, if it's Rowan and Bo, like that is a very underwhelming union size, like fucking faction.
Sanity-esque.
Yeah, you're getting not only to sanity, folks, you're getting into retribution territory. You know what I mean?
No. None of those people are retribution like that, because that was just like all people very new and that were just inexperienced and didn't feel like huge future stars. They felt like they could be good workers, but that was just such poorly. And oh no, nothing can ever be that bad. Nothing.
I think the issue that we have going forward is we don't know what we don't know yet. And once we find out what we know, it's going to be kind of like, great, now what else do you have? Because here's the thing. Dexter Loomis is not a wrestler in terms of like, he's a creepy dude, which works. Alexa Bliss is probably the only one in that group that could really make it. Like if she's the star of the group because she is the star, then I could get behind it. But it's centered around Uncle Howdy, which we all know is just a side character to Bray Wyatt. It's not a main event. It's not you know what I mean? Like you're never going to get to a point where you're invested in Uncle Howdy, I don't think. You're going to have to.
Well, let me put it this way, because obviously Bray Wyatt did become a world champion and there was a lot of disputes about it. I was glad they did it, but a lot of Bray Wyatt stuff wasn't quote unquote main event. He worked that way because he was so good. But for the most part, this type of stuff normally doesn't get in the main event because it's hard sometimes to buy into this extra type stuff, but it can be like a very good mid-card thing that gets people going through like a 3-hour show and stuff. So Bray, I think, was just such a special case where he was so good that it was like, yeah, I do want to see him with a championship.
Fair enough. But we have low expectations and low hopes for this, I guess.
Yeah.
Tamatama going, yeah. I forgot to put that in my fucking shine, but that was something else. That was the gift that keeps on giving right there.
Did you see Drew's quote tweet?
Yeah, he's like we all agreed not to feed him after midnight. Like I just burst out laughing. Like so it was so funny. There's so many things going on. The one thing I will say, and you did not put it in the shine, so I'm guessing this is slightly heat or somewhere in purgatory for you. Cody Rhodes contract signing with Logan Paul.
Yeah, it was because we kind of talked about this last week. It's like, are they going to go forward with this champion versus championship match, or is it just going to be like Logan doing his own thing? So it's like, I don't know. It just, to me, like this has been set up so weird because they literally teased it last week. And then they just like to pull the rug. It feels like this one was just kind of like messy. Like this was just like one of the few mistakes like Triple H has made and his writing staff where they just like, they didn't really think it through. And then they kind of panicked when they saw everything going on and was like, oh shit, how do we do it? So it just like, that was stuck with me the whole segment because I thought Logan and Cody for their jobs, they did fine. Nick Aldis did fine. I had no issues with the actual segment. It just, you had that cloud kind of hanging over it where I was just like, well, so you kind of talked me into it. And even though I didn't love the idea of Cody becoming a double champion, now you're just like taking that out. So it's just like, oh, so it's just like, what's obviously the draw for me in this match is Cody versus Logan. It's going to be super fun, but you took that little extra element that kind of had me thinking, you kind of dangled it in my face. Like, here, look at this cookie. You want to try it? I know you said you weren't interested in it, but look at it. It's a fucking Sour Patch Oreo. Before I tried them, of course, you can, I reviewed it. But it's like one of those.
Go over to
my Instagram, which is private, so you'll have to follow me. But it's just like you can't dangle something like that in my face and then like take it away and be like, "Oh, sorry, you can't try it." It's like, well, now my curiosity is piqued. So even though I wasn't sure about it, just so you know, that type of mentality, I went into that segment, and as I was watching it, I felt that. So that's why it was just one of those things. It's like, I think they fumbled this one, and it's rare for this writing staff and Triple H in this era, but I think they fumbled this one.
There are a couple of things that you said there that I want to hit on very quickly. There are a couple of things before I forget. One is I think this is stupid because I don't know Cody's motivation for signing that particular contract then.
Pride.
Like that was
it's just fucking stubborn, dumb.
But it was to me, it was like, what the fuck? Like, it's so stupid. Like to me, it was just like, okay, great. Like, I'll still fight you anyway. It's like, I get that that's a babyface thing, but that to me like based on everything that has happened previously to Cody, I'm just like, that seems really lazy in terms of logic, in my opinion, and I don't want to let it go. Secondly, the fact that What are you laughing at?
You're like, I don't want to let it go. It's like you never let anything go.
Well, yeah, clearly. I mean, I don't let anything go. My daughter sings "Let It Go" every day. Do I? Absolutely not. Anyway.
That's the perfect song to sit around you.
Oh,
Because
I
it probably
know.
like secretly irks you. Like, I'm
Oh,
not gonna-
it does.
Like, even though it's not directed at you, you're just like, oh, let it go. I'm not letting this go.
No. Not only do I hate the song "Let It Go," my daughter loves Frozen, and so much that she has bed sheets. She sings it every day. It's her favorite princesses, and
Oh,
it is.
you should not have told me this.
Oh my God! Like if I'm telling you right now, it is.
Let it go.
No.
Let it go. Sing with me, Adam.
Who the fuck is that? All right, second point. It makes Nick Aldis look like shit because why can a champion with a lawyer do whatever the fuck he wants when it's the general
Roman
manager?
Reigns just did that for 3 years.
No, but what I'm saying is the general manager should be able to be like, nah, fuck you. This is what it is. You're basically cutting off the nuts of the authority figure there. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It makes
the other
no
weird part of
goddamn
it too
sense.
was that like literally like Nick Aldis was the one who just said Logan Paul's challenging for your title. Like there wasn't any like number one contender. So just like, I don't know. That's why to me, like this whole thing's been fumbled. They didn't have a well thought out vision. They weren't ready for like the reception that they were going to have for it. And when they had it, I think they just panicked, and it is what it is.
I just don't like the idea. Like
they should have saved this match for Cleveland. I maintain that because Logan could have dropped the U.S. title to LA Knight or someone at this pay-per-view. And then he could have like taken his time off, which it feels like he's going to, and then come back for Cleveland, like somehow, and challenge Cody. That would have been an awesome main event from where he's from, because he'll get fucking booed. But that would have been a cool like challenge for Cody at Cleveland. But who knows? They probably have other plans because it's SummerSlam. But it just, to me, that's where I thought the spot was. So it just, I don't know. That might be baked into my mind too. But this one was fumbled.
I think the other thing too that really bothered me was when you put the two titles against each other, you raise the stakes. So like what you said made me go.
You also make the U.S. title feel more important.
Right. And so now you've taken it out, and now it feels like, well, shit, now I don't give a fuck. Like we know Cody's winning. So it's like, we knew Cody was winning either way, but it was,
but it was just one of those like things like, are they really going to do it?
Right. It felt more important in terms of like stakes. Like you said, relevancy, everything helped very, very much in that aspect of it. But man, did they fucking fumble it. So that's something else that I just thought was like, meh, didn't really love it. It is what it is. Something else I wasn't a huge fan of was Nia Jax hitting Jade with a chair that was not a DQ on that part, but for her stopping it and swinging it at Nia was, I get it. Why? Because it's a storyline, but it was just Oaf City and your mom sucks and all that shit. And I just started laughing.
See, that's what this started really cool, because I love the interaction with Nia with her daughter. Perfect heat thing, perfect way to make Jade like more like, it's like, because look, you look at Jade, she's fucking a stud. You look at her, sometimes it's as like a baby face. It's like, you're going to root for her because she's cool. But at the same time, it's like with a baby face, you need that little bit of like, I feel for you. And like you integrate her daughter, boom, there. It's like you suddenly have that extra care. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And then it just ended in the DQ, which we could count on, whatever. I don't even remember. I think it was the DQ, right? It just, which we kind of expected. It was just kind of like, okay.
Right. Is what it is. Just gonna move on to other things. We have the fucking tag titles on SmackDown, and fucking DIY win, and Ciampa looks like he wants to not even be there. It's whatever. And there's a great fucking move by a fucking Legado del Fantasma. It's a sick cutter move, and they had him kick out of it, and I was just like, that should be your finish. And what did you do? You fucking just fumble it away right out of the gate. I'm like, that should be your fucking finish every time when you win. Don't use it until you win matches, like in your jobber matches. That's it. And I just kept thinking to myself, that was a waste, because I had never seen that move in my life. And
you know why, Nestlemania? Because they don't win matches.
I know.
When's the last time you saw Angel and Humberto win a match?
I'm just saying.
Shimmy, yeah, come on.
I'm just saying. Baron Corbin protected End of Days for a reason. The 3D was protected for a reason, right? The Tombstone, up until a certain point, protected for a reason. I'm just saying, protect your fucking finishes, folks. Just fucking do it. Another thing, AJ Styles, head scratcher. I got to figure out what I'm going to do and scratch my head. Is he going to go to NXT? Is he going to go to Raw? Who fucking knows? I don't know. It's just, he's
part-time. He's probably going to take some time off. We'll see in a few months.
It's unfucking real. Honest to God. Like, I don't know. Moving on. Is there anything else on Raw or SmackDown that you want to talk about that's heat worthy for you?
Not that I really want to talk about, but I don't know. We have new number one contenders for the women's tag titles if Guthrie's still here.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You want to talk about a crowd not giving a fuck? Honest to God. That crowd was terrible, by the way. It's not just the Zoe and Shayna thing. We can make fun of Guthrie all we want because we love him, but that crowd did not do that match nor anything else very much service. So I just didn't really enjoy it at all.
Shane is doing better work at NXT right now. We'll talk
Right.
about that later.
But anyway, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of anything else I could care about. So let's just get hopeful, shall we?
Glorious. You want me to go first?
I can go if you want.
Yeah, you go first, because then mine's kind of like
NXT-ish, maybe.
Yes.
Mine is going to be very quick and very simple. If it's going to be Randy Orton and it's going to be Gunther, I want Randy Orton to win this thing. Because
really,
here's the thing. Hold on. Not for the reason that you think. Like, looking at it doesn't make any sense visually. But he's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And the King
of the
Ring
about it, Adam.
wins
I thought about it.
An automatic title match for Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Yeah. That is going to be an all-timer. And he went out of his way not to say it, Cody, on everything about Randy Orton. But boy, is that match is going to be, there are certain Cody matches that are left on my checklist. That is right at the fucking top of the checklist.
I'd say that's number one for me. But Randy has to be a heel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Has to be.
Like heel Randy and babyface Cody. Like I'm going to need a lot of tissues, and it's not because I'm crying.
No. And you might want to have a lot more hand lotion, because it is going to be chafing if you don't. But either way, I'm just saying, like, you could literally give them zero prep and zero storyline, and it does not matter, because all it takes is an RKO and then a video package proving everything. I mean, that's it. That's literally.
I was going to say, the story's there. Yeah, the story's written.
It is literally.
You're just going to hit play.
It just show up in Cleveland, folks. It is signed, sealed, delivered, cannot fucking miss. That's it. And when I was thinking about it, it's probably going to be Gunther because I'm wrong about everything. But I was really hoping for Randy Orton to win, because Saudis love Randy Orton. And it would be fucking great. It would be fucking wonderful for Randy and Cody to have a reason other than just I turned. So
yeah, it's interesting because you're saying SummerSlam, but we obviously have Clash of the Castle and Money in the Bank before that, the next couple months. So I'm curious. I'm curious how this plays out. So
I'm very nervous that they don't have enough quality people for Cody, like longevity wise.
Well, the thing is, when you get to Randy, like, that's a multi-match probably. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's why. I mean, it is interesting, but it's just like I know he wants to do it, and I kind of want to see it too. Just an LA Knight feud. Like, obviously the mic's gonna sell that, but it's just, and I know babyface versus babyface, you're not as big of a fan, but I'm like, there are certain ones where I look at it and I'm like, there's something there. There's something there. And the fact that Cody wants it too, I'm just like, okay, that means that he already has ideas of how we make this work. And that gets me excited, because when a guy wants something like that, it means like he's thought about it, and it means like those wheels are already turning, and we know how creative it is, and we know LA Knight would crush that. So that's something that's one they can do, is probably a one-off. But yeah, no, it is, because you look at the SmackDown roster, it doesn't feel like it, but I don't know. I think they'll find a way.
Okay, there you go. That's my hope.
My hope, you're right. You guessed it. We're going to NXT. They got Battleground in a couple weeks. Nestlemania. That card is coming to shape, and they are crowning the first ever NXT Women's North American champion. It will be in a ladder match, much like the men's. We already have 4 women who have qualified. Sol Ruka, she's going to be fun with ladders. Lash Legend, there's your power. Fallon Henley, there's your character. Jada Parker, I know if Bertsky's here, he's a big fan of Jada Parker. And then we have 2 more qualifying matches next week. Michin versus Tatum Paxley, and Ren Sinclair versus Kalani. So I would expect Kalani's going to win that one.
I already thought I saw a graphic where Michin and Kalani won.
No, they fight next week.
Maybe they already taped it then. I don't know, because
I mean,
they were in the graphic already.
They would have taped it last night. They put up graphics previewing the match next week, but I'm assuming those will be the 2 that are win, will be Michin and Kalani, because Kalani on ladders I want to see too. So I'm looking at this field and I'm going, huh. So Sol Ruka is the one they've really pushed as the face of this, meaning she probably won't win. She'll probably be the one up at the end and get pushed off by a heel. Lash Legend, I could see them doing it, but I feel like she's so involved other places, so I don't think it's her. I think Jada Parker, this is more of a showcase for her. Same as like Kalani. And then Michin, I think, is just there to be the veteran. So to me, I'm looking at Fallon Henley Nestlemania. And when I look at this, she kind of, because it feels like the same reason why I believe Adam Cole was the first one, correct? It's just like you want someone who has the character. I think it works better with a heel. And it's also with Fallon. It's so easy for like the feud you build towards. You don't do it right away, you build to it. And it's Fallon Henley, Thea Hale. And it's Thea Hale. You might not feel like she's ready to be the NXT Women's Champion, but she could easily be the mid-card champion in NXT. She's super over. Her character is just interesting with all the surrounding pieces. It makes her interesting. And her and Fallon now have that history. So that's the feud that you build towards. But Fallon's the veteran. Fallon's gotten so much better in the ring, and her new heel character is working. And yeah, she's super fucking awesome. So that would be my pick. That is my hope, is that Fallon Henley is the one. Like I said, you can tease the Sol Ruka thing because, I mean, she's awesome and she would be a great fit too. But it feels like this is Fallon Henley's time. That's who I want. JC's hopes come true. JC knows all the hashtags because hashtag JC is always right, much like King of the Ring. So
hashtag Daddy Likes.
Oh yeah, next week, like Bursky said, Sexay Red's gonna be on NXT.
I'll be honest, I have no idea who that is, but that does not surprise anybody.
Yeah, you definitely don't. But she is something. You might have heard her on newer song with Drake. But yeah, no, she'll that's kind of a big deal. Like that's crossover. In fact, she's paying attention to NXT. I think she's friends with Trick, from what I understand. So that's actually gonna be super cool. So that's next week. And I mean, look at Nestlemania. Should I just go right into my comeback? Because my comeback is also NXT. It's also the women's division. And look, there's been a storyline going on down in NXT with my girl Lola and my girl Carmen, and they have the two savvy vets with them in Natalia and Shayna. So you're thinking, oh, he's just going to give his comeback to Lola. Nah, because Lola's already been winning. She's already won a main event against Natalia. My comeback this week is going to Natalia because I do think it needs to be recognized how important she has been with this, especially for Carmen, who is definitely like the newer one to the scene. Shayna has obviously been amazing with Lola as well. The MMA background thing makes sense. And I'll get to like the culmination, but it just watching these matches, like her match with Lola, obviously like Lola is so new to wrestling too. And she got on TV faster than most new recruits do, just because like we know she has that star power, but I think Lola and Carmen are two people they think highly of and they should think highly of for the future. And they bring different type of backgrounds. So having Natalia down there and working with them, this storyline has been exciting. It's main evented, I think, 2 of the last 3 NXTs, this feud. So I think that's a big deal. But my specific comeback's going to Natalia because I think she's doing good work. We're seeing when she gets in the ring, we're reminded of how good she is. As much as we complain about her character and poke fun or whatever, she's fucking incredible between those ropes. She's even more incredible of like elevating people to the next level. There's a reason why every single woman on the roster, especially the younger ones, like just praise Natalia because she goes down to that performance center and she's working out with these women for weeks and months and all the time, like 24/7, 365. So she definitely deserves the recognition, but also Nestlemania. After she pinned Lola, or I don't remember who else, she tapped out Lola in the main event. We got the head kick from Lola to Shayna and Nestlemania at NXT Battleground in the Apex. We're going to the underground. All the grounds are coming to NXT. Shayna Baszler, Lola Vice, cage fight. I'm so excited. I'm so jacked up. I'm not excited for the Apex because the Apex, whatever, it's fucking Apex. I don't know. You can't fill that thing that much, but I'm excited for this. And this card's coming around fun. As you saw, I just made it my hope and my comeback, but good things happen on NXT, man. And also, we got another little Obafemi's involved in some more meat match. So, I mean, that's exciting too. Your boy, a little coffee mate.
I know.
So I'm so jacked. That card is not this week. That card is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. But it's not. We're not previewing that now. But I wanted to get it in because it is a Wednesday. And NXT, as always, firing all cylinders. You can tell I'm excited. So yeah, Natalia gets my comeback, but I'm excited for the underground at the Battleground.
Are you upset that it's not a fight pit?
No, I rather have I enjoy the Raw Underground thing I like to make fun of, but in NXT it has a different feel and I actually enjoy it. Okay. And I think it works when you have fucking MMA fighters because it's like it's that mix of like what they used to do to what they do now, and it's like a hybrid of it. So to me, it's like it's believable when I watch them do it. As before, the only believable stuff was like Braun Strowman because it's like I believe that he would beat these people up in a fight because that's essentially what the Underground is. It's a fight. So it's like to me, you're putting fighters in there. It makes it a lot more believable to watch.
My comeback goes to another woman that I was very excited to see, and that is one Sonya Deville. I was super excited to see her. She's not been around. She was injured, and of course, she was supposed to be part of an amazing tag team with Chelsea Green, and Chelsea is a chameleon and can pick any character to be with her whenever she wants to because she's fucking awesome. But there's something about Sonya Deville that always feels like she's just always hateable, and I really loved it. And here's a bonus hope for me. If Sonya Deville's on my TV, there is a chance that we'll get a hair versus hair match at some point down the line. Woo! I am excited for that someday. When we get a hair versus hair match, this boy is going to be a happy camper. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, Sonya Deville brings a lot of credibility, a lot of good stuff with her. And I'm interested in this whole back and forth with Zoe Shayna thing to see like if they're all going to pair up. I doubt it. But you never know. You never know what's going on there.
She might kind of be what they need.
Yes, I think you're right.
Because Sonya is a good mouthpiece and like representative of that. Like if they make like a mini stable and not like she could like manage them, quote unquote, but and also like do it. But I think that's the type of thing that honestly helps them. Because look, we make fun of Zoe, but she's great in the ring. Shayna proving at NXT that she's like she is really good too. It's just they're missing something, and Sonya could be it.
That's fair. No, I mean they could be tough chicks. You know what I mean? Like they're all tough.
Tough chicks. That'll be the name of their faction.
Tough chicks.
Tough chicks.
You know, but they're all fucking they're world beaters. They can, you know what I mean? Like they're all tough people. Like that's when I look at it. But again, we'll see what happens. But yeah, happy to see Sonya Deville back on my TV, and hopefully that they make more room for her because I think she's worth it. So there you go.
Speaking of worth it, Nestlemania, we're going to the big old finish. We already talked about the King and Queen of the Ring semifinal matchups on SmackDown, which will be in Saudi Arabia, but also booked on that card. She is not booked on the show, so she's wrestling Friday. Bayley is taking on the aforementioned Chelsea Green.
I'll be honest, I forgot Bayley existed as champion for half a second.
Wow.
That's how bad they fumbled Bayley, in my opinion.
I mean, they're not doing anything with her. Yeah, I agree.
They're not doing anything with someone. If it wasn't a champion, it's one thing. But the fact that she's a champion of a show and she's not really doing anything bothers me.
Because there's 1 hour less on SmackDown, and the bloodline takes up a lot of time, even without Roman. And if you're not involved in the King and Queen of the Ring matches, it's just on SmackDown right now. It's just there's no time for you. Because Waller and Theory haven't done anything either. They just do promos every week. But I think once we get through this pay-per-view, I think hopefully there'll be more of a focus on those championships because it's just like Cody stuff, bloodline stuff, King and Queen of the Ring stuff. That's all they have. So hopefully we're getting through that. But on Raw, as I mentioned, the only thing I saw booked was Braun and JD. I'm jacked up for that. So Nestlemania, I think without further ado, we can start predicting.
All righty then. This is a choose your own adventure. Would you like to go to AEW?
King and Queen of the Ring first.
Okay, fine. Let's do that.
Yeah, we're ending with the shit. Okay,
we're ending with shit. Then we're not gonna finish strong. Then we're just gonna.
Yeah, no, we're
gonna end on a wet fart of a fucking.
I mean, we'll have fun talking about AEW. I feel like it's always fun.
Let's go to King and Queen of the Ring, shall we?
You ready, Nestlemania? So we have the finals, which we only know half of it officially, but the King of the Ring tournament final, the men's side will be Gunther, the Ring General, taking on the winner of Orton and Tonga. We expect it to be Orton, and I expect Gunther to be King Gunther.
You're going to pick Gunther. I'm going to pick Orton because this is going to be fucking bizarre land. I know I'm probably wrong, but there's something about this where I just feel like Orton has to do something here. Because here's my other logic is that Gunther, if he wins, it'll be really cool. But then is he automatically he has to win the championship and they're not going to wait any longer.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is
then Drew McIntyre is supposed to be part.
The next show is Clash of the Castle.
Right.
So it's either going to be Gunther or Drew challenging Priest, you would think. But I don't know. That's the thing. I have faith in how they do it. No matter who wins, they will find a way. But we go to the women's side, the Queen of the Ring final, where we know it will be dun 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 woo, dun 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 woo, Lyra Valkyria taking on the winner of Nia Jax and Bianca Belair. I will let you go first on this one.
I'm going to pick Lyra Valkyria because I feel like they got to put a big giant rubber stamp on her to prove that she's worth everything that they say she is. So I think having her go against Becky and potentially win or lose, depending on what they think. I don't think they can afford to have Lyra beat Becky right now, but we've already seen Nia versus Bayley, and I'm not interested in that.
I mean, I'm interested in it because I think it's one of the best matches of Nia's career from NXT, but I will say that for this, especially if I'm picking Gunther, I feel like this one will be the babyface. Lyra's gimmick is kind of queenly already. Her and Becky, it makes sense. I think she will probably lose to Becky in a valiant effort. But it's one of those things. You give the new person you get them rise to the top and you knock them down. So then you can build them back up and it builds some sympathy. So, and I mean, Lyra's ready for primetime as we've seen. So I am going to pick her as well.
Okay.
Next up, we have a singles match in Nestlemania for the Women's World Championship. The Man, Becky Lynch, defends against Liv Morgan, who is on her revenge tour.
Well, if I'm going with the logic we just said in our previous matchup, I have to pick Becky Lynch. So there you go.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I really want Liv to be champion, but I think for this whole gimmick to fully work, she can't. Honestly, what this kind of feels like to me is, I know she just won it, but the perfect thing to do in this scenario is have Liv Morgan win Money in the Bank, Rhea come back, beat Becky, and Liv cash in on her. I think it's something to that effect. I don't know if it'll be because like I said, Liv just felt like she won Money in the Bank a few years ago. But obviously as a heel it would make sense. And then, she could have Dom carry around her briefcase. There's so many things they could do with that, but that's getting ahead. But for this, yeah, I will pick Becky to retain as well, because I just don't feel like it's time yet for Liv to get the crown jewel at Crown Jewel. So Next up, Nestlemania, we have a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn defends against Chad Gable with Otis and against Bronson Reed. This one's interesting to me because I don't know how long Sami needs to hold this title. I feel like he probably retains in this because it's a triple threat and he probably pins Gable because maybe Otis turns or maybe Otis makes a mistake and that sets up the Monday turn. But it's one of those things. I wouldn't hate it if Bronson Reed came from the clouds here with a tsunami and stole a win and stole the title, because I think he's ready. I just don't think they're going to do it. I would like that to happen, but I think, unfortunately, I'm picking Sami Zayn.
I, too, am picking Sami Zayn because I'm telling you this. Sami Zayn will not lose in fucking Saudi Arabia. That'll be my thought process.
Yeah, that's pretty smart, too. Yeah, that's a pretty good bet. They can always do Sammy Bronson one-on-one as well if that's...
And he can fucking win on Monday if he had to, so...
Yep. So main event, singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul. This is the easiest one to predict because Cody ain't losing that belt. So give me Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes will win, and I'm sure some ridiculous fucking fashion. I will hope to watch this and think at least at several occasions in this matchup where I'm going to go, you guys are fucking stupid, but God, do I love this. That's what I hope.
Honestly, and it's funny because we're glazing over it for predictions. But in terms of matches, this is, Orton Gunther was pretty fucking enticing for me. But this match is just, I wanted to see this match for a long time. So I am very excited for it, even though we know the result, but I am happy to watch the journey. Nestlemania, that does it for King and Queen of the Ring. So that means we're doubling down for shit. We're going to Vegas. They're going to Vegas before I am, but I'm going to have a lot more fun in Vegas than they will. Double or nothing. It's finally here, which means Mercedes is finally going to make her goddamn debut. But I'm going to hit refresh here because, as you know, we're recording during Dynamite.
Is that Hook Shibata match a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real fucking thing, man. And we'll start there because we're going to start with the drizzling shits. And that is Chris Jericho with Big Bill defending his stupid fucking fake fucking title that isn't even a real title that no one cares about against Hook and fucking Katsutori Shibata in a triple threat. I literally so here's the thing. If they told me I would only buy this pay-per-view if they told me this match was first and I could tune in late, because I do not want this fucking pile of shit on my TV. Triple threat. I guess Jericho retains, but I don't even want to talk about it. You can talk.
What's funny? I typed in Shibata and I got auto-corrected to Sabbath. That's fun. Shibata. Thank you. I'm going to pick Jericho as well because I feel like we're not even close to the end of this thing. He's, like I said last week, as much as I hate what he's doing, he's starting to change me a little bit.
No,
I don't want to see him wrestle ever again.
I don't want to see him do anything. I don't want to see this.
He's kind of changing me a little bit in terms of the character things. That's all.
You're such a fucking Jerichoholic still at heart. All right, we've talked about that enough. We'll move on to another match that I know you're absolutely going to love. It's a singles match, a wrestling match between Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta.
The fact that Trent Beretta is on a pay-per-view to me is
a singles match with no stipulation.
It is beyond. This is if you could pinpoint the moment I stopped giving a fuck about AEW pay-per-views, it is the moment that Trent Beretta is on a goddamn pay-per-view. There is no way in my life that I would hand over my hard-earned money to see that nitwit twat face get into a fucking pay-per-view. I can't deal with this shit. I hope Trent Beretta trips on the way in and they replace him. This is so stupid. Give me Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I'm taking Orange Cassidy too, because that's the only reason he's on pay-per-view. It's because Orange Cassidy could wrestle me and I'd get booked. So, and that, I mean, I'm probably about as interesting as Trent Beretta in terms of wrestling. So next up, Nestlemania. I'm jumping around, so I'm definitely going to fuck this up. But we're going to a singles match for the AEW International Championship. The champion, another one of your boys, Roderick Strong, defends against Will Ospreay in Nestlemania. There's no fucking way they can have Will Ospreay lose a singles match on pay-per-view. So he's becoming the international champion. He's their international flavor. He's the fucking future of the fucking company if they do it right. And it gets the belt off that fucking dweeb, fucking yelling idiot. So give me Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay is everything they need to do correctly, and they still won't do it correctly. Like when I'm watching this, it's like he is going to persevere through the stupidness that they have over there. Just to like, he is so good, it doesn't matter. Like horns up. You know what I mean? Like he's the fucking guy. Like he is the guy that can save this company. Will they do something about it? I don't know.
When I close my eyes, it's Ospreay. I see. Dun, 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 dun. You set that,
was
up.
A stretch. That was a stretch.
No, you set that up, man. The song instantly got in my head.
Michelle Branch?
I mean, come on.
Michelle
Don't go
Branch.
hating on Michelle. Don't go hating on Michelle.
I'm a fan. I just, the way you sing it doesn't sound right to me. That's all.
Well, because I'm not Michelle Branch, dumbass. I don't have the beautiful voice. I have my voice, which is a voice. Next up, singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. I don't give a fuck about this match. Toni Storm defends against Serena Deeb. Storm.
Yep, it ain't happening until Mariah May beats her. So just keep fucking racking up those tomato cans.
Oh, you ready for this one? So I think this stipulation must be new. By the way, I don't know if you noticed about 20 minutes ago when you were talking about something, I was on my phone. And I saw a clip from Dynamite where Malachi Black standing in the middle of the ring and a bunch of fucking ketchup shot up through the ring. Like it was the Brood with Copeland. It was fucking the corniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But setting up that match, it is a barbed wire steel cage match for the AEW TNT Championship, because that's what we need, is a fucking shitty steel cage match with barbed wire. Adam the Cope Dope Copeland defends against Malachi Black. Now, look, I would love to pick Malachi Black Nestlemania, but this fucking Cope Dope is just fucking so drunk with power, doing whatever he wants. He's booking himself to win.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. The only thing, and I don't like ever saying this out loud, but it's really the only thing that's going to derail him at this point is if he gets fucking injured. Like,
oh boy.
But I don't think he's going to get injured because he just got off an injury. So it's just that, like, I get that he's trying to do like shit and I appreciate it, but I don't care. Like, I don't care about Copeland. I don't care about Malachi Black. I should. A barbed wire steel cage is to keep everybody out, right? You think? But does it really matter? I don't know. I don't think it gives a shit. I don't care. Buddy Matthews is doing whatever he's doing on a beach with an ass, and then Brody King is just fucking whatever. Like anything related.
We need Julia Hart back.
Anything related to Cope makes me angry. So
yeah, I
can't enjoy it.
Yeah, this is what it is. Next up, we have eliminate what? IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. If Takeshita wins, he will receive a future that title match. Moxley versus Takeshita. I didn't even know this was a thing. So it's not for the title. They're doing an eliminator match on a fucking pay-per-view for a fucking title that isn't on. This fucking. Give me Mox. This is who the fuck would spend money on this card? This is supposed to be the biggest show of the year, and this is the fucking what?
The biggest show of the year now is the fucking Wembley show. So that they don't give a shit about this show.
This is fucking garbage.
My question to you is: has anybody ever won an eliminator match?
I don't think so.
I legitimately don't think that this is going to work out for anybody. Like, I look
maybe
at this.
Maybe Takeshita is the first, so they can run it back in Japan.
So maybe, but like my other thought is like, the problem I have with this whole thing is that, sorry, I have to write. I realized that TJ had already written something in, and I wanted to make, oh my God, sabotage instead of whatever. It's just Sabotage instead of Shibata this time. I can't
It's
fucking.
fine. People, no, if anyone picks him, they're gonna get it run anyway. So
I can't fucking win. Anyway, my train of thought is lost. What are we talking about?
Moxley and Takeshita.
Okay,
like,
so
it's
so
fucking
if we do it,
hard.
we do it. It's great, but so I could see him winning the Eliminator, but then also like Moxley has like 6 other dudes in New Japan he has to defend. Like as we know, he ain't losing. Eventually, he's not losing the championship. He might lose this matchup, but it's irrelevant. It's fucking irrelevant. And also, fucking Takeshita comes out on a fucking radio show and says, "My time in AEW was dog shit. I just prefer wrestling in Japan." That's great. Let's put him on a fucking pay-per-view then.
Yeah, we got through the
Okay.
6 matches of shit though, Adam. I think the last 3 that we have left we can actually care about because there's actually intrigue there. First up, singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Finally, after months, Mercedes Moné will make her in-ring debut against the champion Willow Nightingale, the woman who took her out and took months off her career. Look, Willow's been cooking. I've enjoyed her as champ. I think she's got herself even more over. She's a much better promo than I ever thought she was. But it's just like I can't see Mercedes losing her debut. So follow the Monet and give me the Monet.
Here's the thing. This is something I'm gonna pick Monet. This is a long-winded way of explaining it. But could she be colder? I don't know. And I love her.
She literally, her whole thing is like she's such a good wrestler. And they haven't had a wrestle for what, 3 months?
She's
Banana
moaned.
land.
She's moaned harder than she's worked. It's unreal. Like I am sitting here thinking to myself, you have fumbled the biggest person you have probably paid in your company in recent history.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's not a strong promo. I don't care what anybody says. She's not a strong promo. Literally, this is the equivalent. I would love for someone to break this down. This is the equivalent of Bret Hart going to WCW. It is just like they paid them a bunch of fucking money. He didn't wrestle right away. He broke his fucking hand or whatever. Just like Mercedes broke her fucking leg. And it's like, well, she's not going to just not be there. So let's just have her show up and do nothing. Just like Bret Hart did nothing for like 6 months in WCW. And then nobody gave a shit. And it's just like, I actually believe that Mercedes is going to have to wrestle like incredibly hard to get all that back. Like, because the minute she talks, I don't give a shit. When she wrestles, I'm thinking to myself, this woman is absolutely fucking credible. But I will say this, putting her in a TBS title match, it's the wrong thing.
It's a weird debut. It's just everything about like, that's just like, again, I said this is one of the 3 matches we care about because it's her debut, but this one couldn't be more fucking botched. It's just literally, this whole fucking card, man, I just can't. But we're both pick Monet. Next up, we have a Anarchy in the Arena match. The Elite Okada, who is as cold as ice, and they've treated him fucking as like a pointless signing, which is a huge fumbled bag, with Jungle Boy, Jackass, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. I know they like the Thew and the loss. Taking on Team AEW, which is just not what I pictured. It's Bryan Danielson, FTR, and Darby Allin. So my excitement for this has gone down. I'd rather have fucking them take out Darby Allin and have Tony Khan as part of this match. That would make me care more. I don't know. They just like everything they've done for this fucking lead up. It gets worse every week the more I watch. And it's just like, I was just looking at this. I'm like, man, this should be a big deal. Fucking Okada. Like he's still relatively fresh signing, but it's just like, he literally feels like a fucking nobody. Like, you know what he feels like? He feels like the fucking Wheeler Yuta of the Elite. And that is not a compliment because that guy fucking sucks. It made the BCC worse. So it's just like, this is just fucking dumb. Are there even stakes for this match or is it just like Anarchy in the Arena? So
there's no stakes.
There's no stakes. So I guess I'll pick the Elite, but I don't.
You're going to pick Team Elite. Okay.
I feel like without stakes, like they need to win. They need it more than these fucking baby faces who are over if they lose 100 matches in a row. Like no one cares if Darby and Danielson loses. They do all the time anyways. FTR's fucking bulletproof too, but it's like the Elite and Okada and Jungle Jackass, like they need a signature win, and this should be it.
I agree with you, and I also think something to jump up on with that is I think the heels win this one, and then there's blood and guts down the line where
Then Kenny Omega needs to be in that, and that's the one they win. Because Kenny Omega not being part of this has made me care so much less. Because you brought him back again. You brought him back. to then not have him part of it.
Well, you don't know if he did that against doctor's orders or not. Like, we don't
I mean,
even
he
know.
could have. And who knows? Maybe he shows up on Sunday. Maybe it's part of the storyline. But this thing started with so much promise. But as I said on that show, when I fucking ranted and raved how much I loved it, I said, I fully expect every week it's going to get worse. And here we are. They did it again. I just can't. Main event, singles match, AEW World Championship, Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana, who's been off TV because they wrote him off, taking on Christian Cage with Killswitch, Nick Wayne, and Mother Wayne. I'm super excited for this in-ring match. It's going to be awesome. But like, and I love the devices of how Christian's like kind of teamed with the Elite and also like teamed with Brian Cage and them. They've done a good job, but it just, this whole pay-per-view is fucking dumb. But I will seek out this match. I want to see it. This is a match I've always wanted to see. I don't miss Christian matches. Swerve's pretty must see. I don't even know if this is the main event. It might be the Anarchy. It could be Mercedes. It could be this. I don't even fucking know. But I mean, Swerve's not losing. So
Swerve is not losing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have a tendency to believe this is the only thing. What?
Pick Christian.
No. I'm picking Swerve. I have a tendency to believe that this is not the main event of the program. I think the main event is Anarchy in the ring. Or whatever, Anarchy in the Arena, whatever. That'll be the main event. And then they'll have some fucking giant fucking return or swerve at the end there against the Elite. And then we'll all be like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. That's all it is.
Here's the thing. I'll say this, Nestlemania. When MJF was champion, I think he pretty much main evented all the shows. Joe and Swerve have not been main eventing the shows.
No, because they're not main event champions. They're just not. I'm sorry. And that sucks. Ospreay's
Roderick Strong has a better case to main event just because Will Ospreay's part of it.
And it's not Swerve's fault. Swerve was fucking hot.
Swerve is amazing.
Right there.
The thing is, and this is something that I saw and we didn't talk about, but it's just like his first fucking week as champion. They didn't give him the in-ring promo segment, which is literally the auto. They had him wrestling a fucking probably one of the dumbass eliminator matches. And it just was like, it just shows how fucking stupid AEW is. Like, this is the guy you've been building, your first black champion, the big baby face, the guy the crowd's been hot for. You already did it too late. And then you don't even give him his fucking moment on the fucking show after. It's just like they're so fucking bad. Like, it is a reason. I don't even want to watch Dynamite after this. The show, it's probably going to be a fucking, not even a good show. It's probably just going to be a giant fucking promo ad to fucking buy the bullshit on Sunday. This fucking shit sucks, man. This card is terrible. Like, did you hear some of those matches we just ran through? Trent fucking Beretta in a singles match. A fucking title eliminator match for a fucking title that isn't even on your goddamn show. And then you literally build up this great Anarchy in the Arena match, and then you fucking give me the bullshit that we have. It's just like, it's just match after match. It's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
I cannot wait for Tony Khan to come out in the main event and turn heel. How fucking hysterical would that be? I don't
think that'll happen because I don't think.
Oh my God! If that fucking happens, I will piss my pants laughing.
I don't think he can be a heel because he's so fucking goofy.
He's already a heel. He's already a heel. I guarantee that he's already a heel.
Dude, their target audience, he's the fucking biggest babyface in the world because they all want to fucking suck his money-laden cock.
How funny would that be? How funny would that be? Because it would literally. He has gone on record talking about how much better AEW is than WCW. But for him to do the exact same Eric Bischoff did when Eric Bischoff got beaten up by the NWO and then found out to be the reason the NWO existed would be the same reason that AEW existed with the Elite. It would be so serendipitous and so fucking hysterical at the same time. I want that to happen. I'm putting it out in the fucking world. What a twist.
Tony Khan needs to be part of this Anarchy in the Arena match for me to care. Would you
care if he turned heel?
I would. I want to see him take a bump.
Well,
I want to see Jack Perry fucking run him over or something.
He took 2 bumps and they were both terrible.
I want to see more. Tony taking bumps is great. I can watch that all day. That's the last time I really, really got excited about something in AEW was that fucking Tony Khan week. And I literally said it then. I'm like, this is so awesome. Has the potential to be great, but you just know they're going to fuck it up. And here we fucking are.
Well, we hope you yeah, I can tell. We hope you enjoy King and Queen of the Ring. We assume that's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe Double or Nothing will surprise us, folks. I doubt it, but maybe I can be pleasantly surprised. I'll put the Nestle curse.
Trent Beretta match is going to be great.
fuck off. Just fuck off, Trent Beretta. That's all I got to say about that. The world would be a better place if he never wrestled on television again. That's all I'm going to say about that. Mean. Yeah, I'm not saying I want him to anything bad about him. I'm just saying just don't wrestle on my television. That's all. It is.
Who would you rather watch wrestle for a month straight? Trent Beretta or Kushida?
Thanks for listening to this part of the Job Rocker podcast. I'm going to pick Kushida. I will. Absolutely will.
At least he provides you with the sleeping bag.
Exactly. So exactly. And he has Back to the Future, which is one of my favorite films. So fuck it. Whatever. I'll pick him. It's like, yeah, I hate Trent Beretta. You know what? Trent Beretta has exceeded Kelly Kelly. That's how much I hate Trent Beretta.
I mean, I'd ask which one of those you'd rather watch for a month, but at least Kelly Kelly, like, you know, even
Kelly Kelly gives me something.
She's not unattractive.
No, exactly. Yeah. At least my eyeballs would watch. That's it. And something else. But other than that, that's fine. Anyway, on that note, thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with some more Jobber Knockery.